All right, ladies, welcome to Support Saturday Masterclass Edition. I'm Sharice, and today we have our masterclass given by Lakisha Haskins, who's going to do how to add value to your programs. All right, Lakisha, the floor is all yours.
All right, ladies, how are you? So my name is Lakisha Haskins, or Lakisha Tibbs, and I am going to be talking to you about a gazillion ways to add value to your program. Some of them cost absolutely nothing. They just require a little bit of common sense, and some of them actually cost things. So I am going to see if I can share my screen and open up this presentation, and we will get started. Hold on, guys. Of course, my computer will be special today. All right, well, while my computer is responding to my request very, very slowly, I own and operate several different programs within my program. I have a virtual academy. I have an online academy. Well, that's my virtual academy. I have an in-person academy, I'm sorry. I do homeschooling, I do tutoring. I also have a home daycare. I design shirts. I do a million different things. And so some of the things that I'm going to share with you are things that I have found to be very helpful within my program. And I'm hoping that you will find them helpful within your program. Okay, hold on, Sharice, because it's not cooperating with me. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
No problem. Computers, technology is always sometimes an issue, isn't it?
It is. So let's see if I can get it to open without sharing it first. And then, hold on. Let's see. Okay, I think it wants to work now. I'm gonna try this again. All right. Hopefully you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right. So obviously our conversation today is going to be on adding value to your program. Here are several strategies for enhanced programs. Again, my name is Lakisha Tibbs. I'm the owner and the operator of IMEC Academy and Kindergarten Prep LLC, IMEC Virtual Learning Academy, Intelligent Minds Early Childhood FCC LLC, and Too Cute Couture Tutus and more. So obviously you need to understand the concept of adding value to your program. So in the context of childcare programs, adding value refers to enhancing the quality and effectiveness of the services provided to children and their families. It involves going beyond the basic care and supervision by incorporating additional elements that contribute to the overall development, well-being, and positive outcomes for children. Understanding that creating a safe and engaging learning environment is key to a successful program. Once that is mastered, you should consider implementing additional services to add value. So obviously with this statement, you have to understand that if you're just running a traditional program, whether it's in person or virtual, and you're looking to add value, you cannot lock yourself in or box yourself in with just opening from 8 to 4 and not offering anything additional within your program. Just, I'm here, I supervise the kids. That's it. That's basic. You have to go beyond that basic. So even if you're operating 8 to 4 or 8 to 5, there's a million additional things that you could do within that time frame to not take away from your time, but to add value to your program. course, it's not gonna go to the next page. There we go. All right, so adding value is crucial for attracting and retaining families and can take various forms, including. So I don't know if you ladies want to snap a picture. I don't know if that's allowed or not. But if you want to snap a picture of this, this is a lot of information. Again, I manage many programs. I also have helped many people to begin operating their programs. And these are a lot of the tools and things that we use for that. So the first one is P&O, also known as Parents Night Out. These are drop-off events for parents to have a break. They look different in so many different ways. And we're gonna, after we go through all this information, I actually have some pictures and more information on the breakdown of Parents Night Out sessions. So that's what my focus is gonna be. The second one is educational enrichment. That can be art, music, stimulating games, and other age-appropriate activities that promote cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. You also want to pay attention to individualized attention, creating an inclusive environment where every child feels valued and supported, addressing unique needs and interests of each child. Obviously, we know within your programs, if you don't have that as a value for families that have children with special needs, they're not going to be able to sign up with you. So those are things that you want to keep in mind, because that is a high level of value that in the world we live in today, it's really, really needed on so many different levels. Enhancing educational curriculum. You can create or purchase a well-rounded curriculum, incorporate STEAM. For those of you that don't know what STEAM is, that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Incorporate that into your daily routine. Collaborate with others for specialized workshops or presentations. So there are so many all-stars that offer amazing, amazing extracurricular activities that fall underneath this STEAM category. Collaborate and connect with them so that you can add value to your program. It's not costing you anything else. You can bill those fees to your parents. You obviously want to make sure that your sisters are compensated for, you know, connecting with you and collaborating with you and doing these things, but it shouldn't require a lot of time on your end. And these are services that your parents are going to love. And I'm speaking from personal experience. And we'll get into that in a moment as well. Health and safety measures. Obviously, parents are not going to enroll their children in a program that they don't feel is safe. So those are normal, common sense kind of things, but they also help to add value to your program, because no one is going to take their child to a program that looks unsafe or dirty or run down. So implementing safety protocols, maintaining clean facilities, and ensuring the children receive proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and supervision. Those things are also going to make your job so much easier within your program. If you think that you're going to run a program and flip on a TV and kids are going to just sit there and that's going to be their day, that's not realistic. That's not adding value. And that doesn't fall under what's, you know, helpful for the kids. Staff qualifications and training. You want to employ well-trained and qualified professionals who have a very clear understanding of child development, effective teaching strategies, and positive behavior management techniques. It's imperative that these individuals are balanced and have common sense. Ongoing professional development and training opportunities are helpful. So for my staff, when I hire my staff for my program, there are additional trainings that I require for them to have. There's trainings that I require for them to have ongoing for every year that they're employed with me. But there's also trainings that I offer to them at no cost that we do as a group. And we usually do them when we do our staff meetings and things like that. You want to make sure that you don't have staff that emotionally are not balanced. That's a danger to your program. That's a huge liability. So you want to make sure that they have some type of balance. You want to make sure that they obviously have common sense, because we're dealing with children. So they're going to need that. Embracing technology. Highlight the advantages of integrating tech in the program. Showcase educational apps and screen time activities. A lot of you may know that I have a virtual program and I teach virtually in other daycare centers. My parents that are in my program sign up for my program. Some of the kids that are on my wait list for my preschool program are signed up because of that whole virtual aspect of my program. I also do testing with the kids online, and we do a lot of other virtual or online activities with them. And then we have PEA, which is what we call it within our handbook, but it's parent engagement activities. So you want to encourage and facilitate parent participation and engagement through open communication, regular updates, add-on services like parties, classes, or fun sessions. Offer resources for parents when able to. Offer surveys or opportunities for parents to provide feedback of the program and activities. Those surveys are going to help you to be able to customize your program to your clients or customize your clients to your programs. Because if you have a bunch of clients in your program that are feeling like their needs are not being met, obviously your program is not a good fit for them, or you need to kind of tweak some things within your program if that's the clientele that you want. And so the surveys will offer insight on that. As far as engagement with the families and communication and things like that, there's so many different apps that you can use. There's the one I use is Brightwell right now. There's ProCare. There's a million of them out there that you can use, or you can just create your own newsletters and emails and things like that for parents to be able to communicate with you. But you want to give them a way to communicate with you. As far as add-on services, there's different types of parties and things you can have with your families that encourage that engagement, encourage your families to come in. We have sip and paints. Our families attend some of those. Some of those are strictly for the kids. We also do a big end of year party. We don't call it a Christmas party because some families don't celebrate Christmas. So it is an end of year party. And that is my thank you to my families for signing up and being a part of my program. And at that party, we have a ton of activities that we do with the kids. And so some of those activities are like, we build a snowman. They have rolls of toilet paper and we set a timer and everybody gets into groups and we see who can build their snowman first. They have their toilet paper, their hat, their little felt carrot nose and things like that, their scarf, and they wrap the kids or whoever is going to be the snowman in the toilet paper, put the hat and the nose and the scarf on them. And the person that obviously finishes first is the winner. We do gingerbread cookies and gingerbread houses with our families. Those are activities that they get to, decorate and build those houses and cookies together. We do big giant Easter egg hunts and things like that with our families. We do birthday parties. And so a lot of these things, our families will come back and when they're filling out surveys or they're just giving information, some of their responses are that this is fun, that they didn't think of doing these creative things with their kids, that this is the most that they've laughed and that they actually enjoyed spending time with their kids. Some of the other things we offer are, those parents' night out sessions. Some of those are really fun for the parents to be able to drop their kids off and get a break. And then we do parents' day out. So for sometimes we have things going on at night, or I have too many kids scheduled for an evening shift to where I can't open it to the public safely. And so I'll do a parent's day out and I'll rent a space at the library and have all the kids come there and we'll do activities, or we'll do a parent's day out and we'll do a trip to like Six Flags or something with all the kids so that the parents are still getting a break, but the kids are also having fun and I'm building connections with those parents. So the last one is create a partnership with community resources, collaborate with organizations within the community, like pediatricians, social workers, therapists, early intervention specialists, and more. Again, there's a ton of sistars that you can connect with to collaborate, but you can also connect with just different organizations within the community, different after school programs. And as you get your face out there and you get yourself known, it makes it easier for people to be comfortable referring other families to you, and it makes your families comfortable referring other families to you as well. And it's a really easy kind of way to market. All right, so my question to you all are what USPs are in your programs. So USP is a unique selling point. And I don't know, Sharice, if you're able to unmute, or we can wait and we can kind of go over that later. You guys just kind of think about that. Go ahead.
Yep. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, go ahead and see or raise your hand and I can unmute you if you're not able to. Anybody? Unique selling point?
Q&A Preschools offers additional programming such as tumbling, martial arts, dance, sports and agility, and we do after school pickup.
Yep, those would be unique selling points.
Those are huge ones.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was hoping to hear something like that. Does anybody else have any? All right,
No?
so if
Okay.
you don't, you are really going to want to figure out how to incorporate some in your program, because in order to add value to your program, you need to know what you're capable of offering. You can't just jump in and say, oh, I need to add value. Obviously, we know adding value to our program means adding value to our bank accounts. So if you are not in the mindset and you're not quite sure of what you want to offer, Ms. Quinn just gave a ton of different ideas of different things that you can do to bring additional value to your program. Those things are going to bring additional clients. They're going to bring a ton of clients to your program, because those are services that people are constantly looking for, and they're looking for quality people to have those services. And I'm pretty confident that most of us sisters that are up here, if you pay to be a part of these programs, that means you value yourself in your program. So you carry yourself with a level of, just respect and professionalism. And those are the kind of providers and professionals that families are looking for. And so you already have one box checked off. You really want to think about some selling points for your program. So some of the selling points from my program is we have quality staff. We have enriched curriculum. I write my curriculums. I don't purchase them from anywhere. I write them and I customize them based on the kids that I have within my programs. Flexible scheduling and hours. A lot of you know I'm open till midnight most days. I'm open on weekends. You can probably hear kids in the background right now. I open super early. I stay open really, really late. And I really try to make sure that I, within reason, and, flexible and available to my families. Experience with special needs. That's a huge value. And so if any of you have that, or if you, are taking classes or trainings or things like that, the way of the world right now, there are so many children that are being diagnosed, and there are so many additional children that are not being diagnosed because parents are in denial. And so there's a huge level of support that we are going to need to provide to these children, whether they have a diagnosis or not, based on what they present as and what we know. It's important to make sure that we're meeting them where they are to get them to where we know they need to be, but we're doing it in a way that's respectful. And so having some type of experience with special needs is going to be a huge selling point for your program. A clear understanding of creating and offering family support programs and services. And so some of you ladies may have come to the conference, and one of the things that I talked about a lot was being who you needed, being your authentic self, but being who you needed. And when you are able to be who you needed, then you're able to reach people at a whole different level. And so in my program, my biggest thing was, I started my program as a single parent. So obviously for families that, are coming in and that are looking for care, that are single parents, I kind of already know the things that they're needing. So if you're able to be who you needed, then you already know what things are needed. So you don't have to ask the question of how can you help, or what is it that you need to do? You know what problems need to be solved. I am a parent of a child with a special need. So I understand the fear and the worry of trying to enroll my child in programs that are going to be safe and conducive to the overall growth of my child. I have been off and on a provider or a person that had some, financial hardships. And so understanding some of those things. So it's just important to know what your selling points are. What are you willing to do in your program to add value? How are you going to move forward to do those things? But the first thing, you're going to want to look at what your selling points are, and then you can kind of list all the things that you're willing to do, and then break that list down into things that you're going to do to add value to your program. All right, so we're gonna focus on parents' night out ideas for childcare, preschool, or educational programs. So these are my actual kiddos. And in the first picture, they are watching a movie. In the second picture, they're standing on my couch because that's what they do very often. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of dance parties. We do just a ton of things, but a lot of these kids have been in my program since they were 6 weeks old. And so my program, one of the selling points of my program is I view it as a family program. You know, a lot of these kids have a lot of items at my program. Some of them spend, you know, a lot of time in my program. And so they have changes of clothes here. They have things that make them feel like this is a second home for them. And so there's connections. They all feel like they're daycare sisters and brothers. And they say it all the time that these are their daycare sisters and brothers. Some of these kids are, you know, only children. They're an only child. And so for them to be able to come into a program and to connect with other kids and to be able to understand how to create and foster relationships at such a young age is really, really good. But anyways, we have a lot of fun. We have dance parties. This is their couch. So they jump on it, they dance on it. It's their world when they come here. You know, they have things that rules that they have to follow, but they have a lot of fun. So the importance of Parents' Night Out. You want to make Parents' Night Out fun for kids with creative activities like crafts, games, and movie nights. Engage them in safe and educational play. Make sure that when you're doing these things that you're taking pictures. I'm really bad about not posting pictures on my social media, but I do have an app that my parents can access pictures in, and I'm constantly sending them pictures of the different things that their kids are doing. And so we are always doing something. It's never a moment where they're sitting here just watching a movie and that's all they've done for the entire day. Usually that's something that we're ending our day with. My Parents' Night Out programs typically open at 6 p.m. and end at midnight. However, I do have families that request earlier services. And so I have a flat rate for 6 p.m. to midnight. And then I have an hourly rate that I charge them if they're needing care before 6 p.m. and I just bill them at the hourly rate. I have some families that drop off at 10 o'clock that morning and pick up at midnight so that they can go home, wash their hair, take a nap, do laundry, shampoo their carpets, just do things that sometimes we forget that parents aren't able to do because we are amazing and we are able to take care of 8 to 12 kids at a time. For parents that may have 1 or 2 kids, that is a task for them. So, you know, working with childcare is definitely not, or working with children, I'm sorry, is definitely not for everyone. And so we have to remember that, you know, it may be easy for us because of who we are, but for parents, sometimes just being a parent is super, super hard. And I can relate to both ends, but I have parents that, like I said, drop off really early. Some of them go on dates with their husbands or their wives or whatever. And some of them go grocery shopping, they clean their fridges, they disinfect their houses, go get their cars washed, whatever it is that they want to do. They do when they have that day to do it because my program opens at 7:30 in the morning. Sometimes it opens a little earlier, but typically I'm available as early as 7:30. And so they will pay that hourly rate. You can imagine what that number is. Let's just say that it's $10 an hour for your hourly rate before your $45 or $50 Parents' Night Out session. Billing that hourly rate is definitely going to add up. But if you respect yourself in your program and you're comfortable knowing your worth, they're going to pay it. Because for them, that one day that they can go out and breathe and reset to come back and be a better parent is going to mean so much to them. And you'll see that. You'll see a difference in the way that they parent and raise their kids. And it's actually better. And so a lot of parents enjoy that. They look forward to those sessions. Usually by the end of that session, the next morning, parents are texting saying, hey, they had a great time. When's the next session? How early can we sign up for the next session? Because we do have a limited amount of spaces and I cut it off at a certain amount of spaces. I can't see the top of this. So this basically is the benefits of themed lesson plans. So for your Parents' Night Out sessions, I've been doing them since 2012. And so I don't necessarily always have to sit and plan and create a theme. I kind of know what I want to do and I just jump in and go with it. But if you're just starting out, or if you are a person that everything needs to be written down and detailed and organized, then it may be beneficial for you to create some type of theme lesson plan for that session. And so theme lesson plans are a fun and engaging way to teach children skills and concepts while keeping them interested and motivated. They also promote creativity and imagination in both children and caregivers. And so our kids typically have a variety of activities and things that they do. And then we have things that we do together. Themes to consider: movie nights, game night, and craft night. Our biggest thing, and I know a lot of people are not okay with guns, and each person do what works for you. My program, my parents are perfectly fine with their kids playing Nerf guns and things like that. We have a lot of conversations about that. These are toys, that we don't aim at, faces, and we're respectful of people with them. However, these are some of my highest paying parents' night out sessions when we do our Nerf gun war. Half of those guns, like we have a big chest full of guns, but these guns, a lot of these guns in the picture, our daycare kids bring with them for these sessions. They bring their own guns, their bullets that have their initials on them. And then we have a container with probably about 2,000 little Nerf gun bullets, and they're foam, so they don't hurt. And we have fun. We go through the whole house and we just run and we just have fun. And I was reminded again during the conference how important and how healing laughter is, because sometimes we get so stuck in, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to keep moving, I got to survive. And we forget that we made it and that it's okay to, one, clap for ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, and two, smile more, laugh more. So that's something that I'm working on. But I can say that when we do these activities, these kids are all smiles. And for me, that makes me happy when I'm sending their parents pictures. That helps to ease that guilt that, their kids are in school all week and then they're in aftercare till about 6 p.m. And then they go home, they have homework, dinner, bedtime. And then on a Saturday, they're going to drop them off somewhere so that they can get a break from them. So some of them, that feels selfish. But when they see pictures that, no, your kids are actually having a good time, they're not just sitting somewhere twiddling their thumbs waiting for you to come back and get them, they're having a ball. And that just kind of helps ease that for them. And it gives the kids an opportunity to reset from school and their parents. And it gives their parents an opportunity to reset from work and their children. And it's needed. In my program, based on some of the research that I've done, some of the abuse rates for this area have reduced a lot. And I have a lot of kids that come to these sessions. I won't disclose all of that, but we have a ton of kids that come. We have a lot of families that are enrolled in our programs. And I have helped a lot of other childcare programs that were set to, I'm only doing 8 to 4 care, to be able to offer a parents' night out session once a month, to be able to help kind of reduce the level of abuse and things that are going on and neglect that are going on in our area. And we're in Maryland, so it's different out here. All right, so you want age-appropriate activities. Engage children's brains with activities that are both fun and educational. Ideas include scavenger hunts, sensory bins, and memory games. And so obviously, if you do a parents' night out session, it's probably going to be on a weekend. You're probably not going to want to do much teaching, which is completely understandable. But there's simple ways for you to do different things so that the kids are engaged and that they're having fun and that they're learning. The motto of my program is learning through play each and every day. So every activity that our kids do within our program, they're constantly learning, and they can be the simplest things and they're getting the most from it. Again, these are pictures of our kids. I do have children with special needs. I have a student in my program that's blind. This little boy in this picture here, he's 18 months. He has a trach. He's also tube fed. I have children in my program that are autistic. I've had children in my program that have catheters. And so those are huge selling points for my program, because I take children with special needs and they're not like separated from the other children. They all play together. They're all respectful of each other. They all love each other. They all support each other and help each other. And so that it's really important to create a program that offers things like that, because those are the things that parents want. Those are the things, especially a parent that has a child with special needs. If you can create a program that they feel like their child is not singled out and their child is a part of what you're offering, that's such a great thing. And it helps out so much with some of the stresses and just depression and disappointment that some parents may have after finding out that they have a child with special needs. You can create or craft or art activities, painting with fruits and vegetables, making collages with recycled materials, creating sculptures with Play-Doh or clay. So here is one of our sessions where we did a Parents' Day Out program, and I rented a space in the library. Some of these kids were enrolled in my program, but some of these kids, this was my first time meeting them. I went down to the children's area of the library and I scouted kids out with their parents. I gave them flyers and let them know, hey, we have a program going on upstairs. We're going to be here from this time to this time. Obviously, you're in a library. You cannot exchange funds in the library. However, I have a link that everybody has to register for my program. And when you register, it tells you that you have to pay. So I didn't technically, sell anything in their program. There was no exchange of funds within their program. But when you click on the link to register your child for the program, there is a charge that goes with that, and they pay that. And this is something that I've offered at the library for years. And I don't know. I guess all libraries are different. I don't know. I can speak for mine. I haven't ever gotten in trouble for it, but you can't directly sell right there telling them, hey, you have to pay. You can't ever say that. But if it's in the link, they're going to see it. It's common sense. They all sign, they pay. And we always have additional staff and supervision at all of our events and activities that we do. And we have really good turnouts for these things. And parents appreciate that because that gives them an opportunity to send their kids upstairs. And because this is in a public place, for whatever reason, they automatically feel like it's much safer because it's in a public place, because the public has their eye on you versus in someone's home. And so for some of you that may be uncomfortable doing a parents' night out in your home, maybe you would consider a parents' day out at a community center or in a library or something like that. And you just rent a space. I don't know what the fees are for other places, but you can rent a space and you can just bring in like a little trunk or container full of different activities and things like that. Obviously, you want to advertise ahead of time so that you're not wasting money renting a space, hoping that someone shows. And I did my advertisement like 2 weeks in advance. I literally went to the library and every day walked through the children's area and gave out flyers. And then the day of the event, I went back down there with additional flyers and was like, hey, we have additional seats. We're doing a parents' day out. Would you like to come upstairs and join us and, see kids? And we have staff in there. We're background. Here's my license. Here's this information once they, show an interest and things like that. So those are things that you can do to add value to your program, because some of these children enrolled in my summer camps and other activities after meeting me at the library and doing these activities, or some of them regularly come to all of our events. They're on our little email blast for additional events. So those are ways that you can add value to your program. All right, so obviously this is games and physical activities or something like that. I can't see it because it's a little bar. Anyways, so there's a ton of different games you can play. Again, we do parents' night out. We've also done parents' day out. We have a decent sized yard. We play outside in the yard. The park is literally around the corner. I drive a huge 15-passenger van, so we don't just sit inside. Some of our parents' night out or parents' day out activities also have field trips with them. Like sometimes we may go do a movie in the park. Around the holidays, we do a parents' night out and we go see the Christmas lights. And so we take all the kids to go see the Christmas lights, and then we go out to eat dinner, and then we come back and then we, may watch a movie or play games or something like that. So these are a lot of the different activities that we've done for parents' day out or parents' night out, where they obviously, the sun doesn't go down so late in the summer. So they're here and the sun's up, and that's an awesome opportunity to get the kids out. It'll make your evening go a little bit faster. It wears them down a little bit to help you be able to control them a lot more. And it's just fun. And some of the other ones we've done, like I said, we do Six Flags. And so we load them up and we take them to Six Flags. All of our kids have book bags. We make sure we have enough staff. All their stuff is in their bags with their names on it. And we just have a ball. Snacking meal ideas. You can make fruit kebabs with a variety of colorful fruits. You can create ants on a log using celery, peanut butter alternative, and raisins. Offer whole wheat pita pockets filled with hummus and veggies. My children love to go out to eat. We go out to eat as a huge family all of the time. We go and shut restaurants down and take over half of the restaurant. However, my kids are very well behaved. They're very well mannered. They're really courteous to the servers. They make sure that they use their manners. Like, it's amazing to where some of the response that we've gotten back from parents are, I don't know how you did it, Miss Keisha, but I can take them out in public. We can go to a restaurant and my kids, they know how to sit down and they know how to eat and they know how to, use their manners. And I appreciate this because I always worried about having to take my kids out in public and things like that. And so for me, one of the goals of my program is to expose the children to things that I know they're not going to be exposed to within their home life, unfortunately, because parents are stressed and overwhelmed and busy. And a lot of time, if they're not getting off work till 6 or 7 in the evening, they're not taking their kids out to have a dinner. And on weekends, they want to sleep in. They don't really want to do much with their kids. And so I take advantage of those opportunities. And obviously everything comes at a cost. And so we, the kids come in and we go, this picture, we were actually at IKEA. We've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings. We've gone to Mellow Mushroom. We've gone to Chick-fil-A. We've gone to Ruby Tuesday. We've gone to Applebee's. We've gone to Olive Garden. We literally load up and we go out and, the parents are charged a fee for what we're going to go out to do, but I still also may compensate for it. And for me, it's not a big deal. I just write it off on my taxes. So. Safety and supervision tips. Ensure a safe environment by maintaining proper supervision, having a plan for emergencies, conducting background checks, and training staff on safety protocols. Obviously, in a lot of the pictures you saw, we have staff. So it's never just me at these events and activities with my kids when we're out in the public and we're doing different things. And we make sure that all of our staff is fingerprinted, background checked, that they have, sufficient trainings and things like that, that they know what my expectations are. We have an emergency plan in place. We also have it in our vehicles that we transport with. We have emergency kits and just different things that we need. We have an evac kit that has all of the supplies we would need for each kid, as well as their cards and information and, ways to contact their parents, crank radios, batteries, snacks, puzzles, crayons, life. We have it in a big container for them. And again, I drive a big old van. And so if we ever needed to evacuate, we just throw it in the van, load the kids up and go because it's already packed. We don't have to pack it. But we also keep an emergency book bag in the van that has diapers, wipes, changes of clothes, fire extinguisher, and the parents' information. And then all of our stuff is through Brightwell. So I have all the parents' information on my phone. But in the event that we wouldn't have a way to call them from the phones or whatever, I have it on cards, even though I don't quite know how we would call them if the phones don't work, but that's neither here nor there. So just make sure that you have proper safety protocols and plans in place. What you don't want is for an emergency to happen and you don't know what to do. That's the worst thing. I can't relate because I haven't ever had that happen. But I can imagine that that's the worst thing. You want to make sure that you do fire drills and things like that as well. We do fire drills with our parents' night out kids as well. Some of them think they're really fun for whatever odd reason, but we do those with the kids. We do them in the daytime and, at different times of the day. You want to make sure that you're doing those because you never know when an emergency will arise. So you don't want to plan those. You want to just naturally be like, all right, we're going to do this and do it. So that helps for you to see the things you may need to work on with the kids within the program. All right, so thank you for caring for our little ones and providing a fun and safe environment for them to learn and grow. I hope this provided you with ideas on how to add value to your programs. If you have questions, if you need support, reach out. My information is there. Feel free to take a picture of it and you can reach out to me. If it's something that I can help you with, I will definitely help you. If I'm not able to help you, I will try to find someone who can help you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so I did see a few questions in the chat. Let me see. We go back up here. Hopefully
Hope I wasn't talking too fast, you guys. I'm sorry if I was.
I think you did good. Where is it? Oh, when do you schedule time with your own children? And are you closed on weekends? That was the first one.
Okay, so I am not closed on weekends, but I'm not open every weekend. My program runs through contracted care. So they have to, basically all my stuff is through Brightwell. So they will send me a message and say, hey, Miss Keisha, I need care on Saturday or Sunday from whatever time to whatever time. I will respond back, okay, I'm available, and I send them an invoice. If they don't pay that invoice, I'm not opening my door and I'm officially closed on that day. Everything is paid for in advance. My weekday program is paid for a week in advance. All parents pay a week in advance. As far as my own children, we close for a week. We close for a couple weeks during the year. But they also have different activities and things that they do during the week where I schedule time. And for things that they may need, I can bring staff in to be with the kids so that I can step away with my kids if I ever need to. And then my parents are super flexible where if something arises and I need to shut down for a moment, I can. They're awesome. Pretty flexible with that.
Do your flyers say the cost on them?
They do not. The ones I post on Facebook do. The ones I post on Instagram do. The ones I email to my families for them to email out and share out. They post on Eventbrite and Nextdoor on their own accounts for me. Those have prices on them. The ones that I give out at the library do not have a price at all. It has a website for them to go to, or a QR code for them to scan to go to. In all honesty, I don't always do the QR code because the library people will scan it and go through and look. But if you put a website up there, they're lazy. They're not gonna take the time to type in your website to look and see what it is. They don't care at that point. So
that's smart.
Yeah, so I put the website up there. I told you I try to learn the system so I could beat it. But I just put the website up there, and then when they click on it and they go on things, or sometimes I'll just put an email address up there and they'll have to email me and say, hey, I'm interested in this. I saw your flyer here. And then I'll say, as a safety precaution, I need you to give me more information before I give you information because I want to ensure that I'm protecting the children I have in my program. And awesome. They will respond back with, hey, I saw your flyer at this library for this date, for this thing, and I would like to enroll my kid. How do I go about that? And then I'll send them a Google form or something for them to complete. And on the Google form, at the top of it, it states that it's a $5 registration fee if they have not ever attended my program, and that is for me to enroll them in Brightwell. And also it covers, I do background checks on all my parents, you guys. So it covers what I pay for my company to do my background checks. And so they will, send that form over, and I let them know once I review the form, I will send them back a link to pay. And so I get the form, I run it through Facebook, Instagram, I look at all their stuff, and I run a background check on the names they put up there. And then if they turn out to be safe, then I'll send them over a payment form. If they don't, depending on what's going on or who they are, or because some people will have connections with other people in the government, like in the city, they'll be related to some of the officials, and I don't want to piss them off,
Right.
But I'll let them know, I'm sorry, we had so many come in and we're full, and I'll leave it at that.
So that kind of answers the question that I see here too. What do you do if a parent comes to the library and drops off without registering?
That's a no-go. That's not even going to happen. Yeah, you have to, before you can even come into the room, you have to show me that you've signed in. And most of the kids, because I search on social media and things like that, I'm going to know what you look like before you come in. But nobody comes into that room without signing in. And if you can't sign in on Brightwell, that means you didn't pay and you didn't sign in, and you can't come into the room.
Nice. Awesome. So do you want to touch a little bit more on collaborating with other sistars? What do you mean like that? Because we know we have a lot of people that do online, and so I'm sure that there's a way for collaboration.
There is. I don't know. I know that there's a bunch of people that have done things for the Done For You and all of that jazz. However, there is an amazing sister, Miss Jelly, who I have collaborated with for summer camp. And if you guys haven't yet, you probably want to jump on it really quick, because I've seen an increase in enrollment in my program just from this collaboration. So Miss Jelly offers a virtual cooking class. And we're up there with her for an hour. And I have parents who bring their kids only on activity days. This is one of our activity days. This is written in our calendar as an in-house field trip. And so Ms. Jelly will send you all of the information that you need to be prepared for that cooking class. Our kids absolutely love it. Our youngest child to attend that class is 2. Our oldest is 17, and they all love it. We just recently did one. She does the little birthday celebrations with our kids. It seems like everybody has a birthday every day. So she's been doing birthday celebrations. She does dance parties with them at the end. She talks to them. She keeps them engaged. She gives you a list of the materials that you need, like all of the materials. It's super, super detailed with everything that you're going to need, like all the way down to you need a spoon, or you need a spoon per child, or whatever. And so some days we have a big group, some days we have a small group, but our kids absolutely love it. So if you guys have not connected with Miss Jelly for that, you probably want to connect with her for that, because I've seen an increase. And recently we had a birthday party. We had a child that it was their birthday that day of the cooking class, and they were so excited that the cooking class was finally on their birthday, because we've had so many other campers that the cooking class falls on their actual birthday. And so we do the cooking class, and then we move into our birthday party, but Jelly kicks it off with a dance party for them. And so it's super, super awesome. The kids love it, but parents came in for that session, like at the end of it, because they were obviously here for the birthday party, and they loved it. The feedback that they gave was amazing. They were like, this is awesome. Who is she? Is she famous? Like, we hear the kids, they're always talking about Miss Jelly. Like, this is amazing. Just the way that she laughs and keeps the kids engaged. She's dancing with them. They're having a really, really good time. And like I said, our youngest kid is 2 and our oldest is 17, and they all really enjoyed that.
Yes, we're actually planning to join on the 19th. So my kiddos. So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And then also too, don't you also utilize Beth too? I don't know if you just more personally, or do you utilize her with your kiddos as well?
My kiddos are using her. Beth you guys know Beth has a sign language program. And so I have kiddos that come here and stay here in the evening until closer to 7, just so that they can do the virtual here. And so they all kind of do it in a group. However, moving forward for this new school year, I have to connect back with Beth to get all the information on how it's going to work. So I don't want to speak too far ahead, but our program is going to be collabing with her for that, so that is a program that I can offer where the kids can get it within my program, or they will have a link that they can do it from home, because she's, paid for each individual student. The biggest thing when you're connecting with your sisters, please don't disrespect them and think that you can just pay one flat price for one kid, because that's insulting, and that's their time. And so you want to make sure that, whatever their prices are, that's what their prices are. Either you can do it or you can't, but just make sure that you're respectful of the fact that this is their time and this is their business. And the reality is, this is how all of us make our money. Right. So you want to take that into consideration with them. For Miss Jelly, we pay per child for her program, but I send that bill to the parents, and I eat just a little bit of the cost of that, because for the food, I feed meals to my children. They don't bring food in. And so that's already incorporated in their tuition. However, they are charged an additional fee as an in-house field trip. And so that helps me to offset the cost of what I pay her per student for that.
Oh, I like that in-house field trip idea. Awesome.
Parents love it, especially if you have parents that are not comfortable with you doing transportation. In-house field trips are going to be the thing to do.
Awesome. Cool. So yes, Sistars, look to see who in our group you can collab with, because it used to happen a lot when I first got in the group around 21, is that there was a lot more collaboration going on, because people were saying what they were doing. And so think about the fact that we have a lot of talented people in our group, so you can definitely collab with, for sure. All right, anything else? Any other questions, ladies, before we end out our Masterclass Support Saturday? If you want to,
yes.
You can raise your hand. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Jelly wanted me to ask you, who is your PAS bestie?
Well, Jelly and Sharice and Quinn, there's too many of them. I don't have a bestie. I have besties.
Yay! Great answer. Great answer.
My besties, they are the sisters that I didn't know that I had it, and each one of them offers something absolutely amazing for me, to include Miss Marquita, Beth. Like, they all offer something amazing. So yeah, I love them all, and I wouldn't have been able to make it here if it wasn't for some of them, because I was stressing.
Oh, don't make me cry. Oh. All right, Quinn, your hand is raised.
Yeah, I have a question about Too Cute Couture and Tutus. How's it?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
What is it called?
Yep, Too Cute Couture, Tutus and More.
That is so stinking cute, man. All right. But I have, I know that you do a lot of other stuff, and I'm curious to know about if you would be willing to share out some of your information about how do we reach out to you to get some things made. Like, we could use some shirts. I was thinking about this year, we have COTS in our full day program for our teacher students, for our teacher collaboration. And Sharice told me that they're obviously going to need their very own sheet for every cot, but they're also going to need their own blankets. And I thought, oh, what if I could give them all a personalized blanket that goes along with their shirts? And maybe I could have them purchase them. So how do you go about doing that? And do you still do that?
I do still do that. There are quite a few daycares that I do. We call it daycare swag, where they're tote bags, they're sippy cups for daycare, they're visors for outdoor play, they're lanyard for field trips. The older kids, their water bottles, their t-shirts for their field trips and summer camp. Some of them have embroidered things on their polo uniform shirts, their blankets. If you give me the measurements of your cot, I can do the customized cot sheets to where it would be branded with your business name on each of those sheets. And then you can go on and we can put a label or something on it for you, to where you can put the name of each child on those sheets. And then their blankets obviously would be customized with their names, or you just have them customized with their business name and do a piece of tape or something with a label with that child's name. That way, when that child leaves your program, you still have all of your blankets and sheets, and it's not something that you can never use again, unless you are doing it. Like, some of my kids have customized things, but
or she can sell it to them, and then that way it's theirs, type of thing.
Yep. Yeah, so we do the cap and gowns, and there's, if you can think of it, we can create it. And so you can message me to the same 240 number. You can send me an email and tell me what you need. All of my emails, they're different emails, but they all go to my phone. And so I'll still see it. And there are some sisters up here that have ordered shirts and things like that. I had a moment in life, I had to reset. So those things are ready and they will be shipped out.
I know I need to get with you myself. I was thinking about that all week.
my store it's through Shopify. I don't know the website. I don't know. But email me and then I can send you the link, because the link is on my phone. So email me or text me. You can text on that same number too.
How do we get the email and how do we get to the Shopify? Or I'll take either, if we can just drop it in the chat.
I will.
Or if you want to share it aloud.
Well, we can do that. How about we do that in Support Saturday? Hold on.
Oh. I mean, this is supporting. This is master support of this is going to be, shared out to the world on the YouTubes. Somebody else might want to get up for Too Cute Couture Tutus and More. That's so cute.
She got to wrap it up and end it, because it's for the podcast, and then bring on that support.
Fine.
Yes. Okay, well, I have another question here. How do you plan out your time or in your day? Like, what is your schedule to be able to take care of so many things? Do you have an assistant who manages certain things? Luke Brightwill, like Brightwill for your store, or are you using systems?
So God helps me. I'm not, in my opinion, super organized. Some people think that I am. I don't feel like I am. I feel like there's still a room and space to correct those things. So I like to write lists of all the things that I want to do or need to do for the week or the month. And so I start out with the calendar. And on the calendar, I will write down, well, actually, I start out with the list. So I list all the things I want to do for this month. So if I know this month I want to do 2 sip and paints, I want to do a parents' night out, I want to do 4 field trips, I want to do 2 or 3 in-house field trips, and I want to write a new curriculum, then I list all of those things. Thank you, Jelly, you're the best. Then I list all of those things on that list, and then I print a calendar, and then I write the calendar, I write down, okay, I can do this day, I can do this day, I can do this day. And then I break it down even more. I'm convinced I have ADHD. And if I don't do it that way, I get overwhelmed and I lose focus. And so I have to write down everything and kind of almost like just vomit all of it out, get all of it out, everything that I want to do for the month, list it. And then I need to break those things down on a calendar. And then I need to take that calendar and break it down week by week. Here's what I'm going to do this week. Here's what I'm going to do this week. Here's what I'm going to do this week. Does it always happen that way? Absolutely not. But I try. As far as systems, I do use Brightwill. I also have a Sawyer account. That's Sawyer.com. You can look that up. For Sawyer, a lot of our enrichment activity things are posted through Sawyer. They actually build a pretty awesome website for that stuff. But you can't you can't really sign your kids in and out. But if you have additional staff, you can list your staff up there and all of those things. So it'll show the times that your staff are running what classes. Like our enrichment classes, we have tutoring, we have coding and robotics, we have a art club, we had a drama club, but my 20-year-olds have within the last 2 years have taken over my drama club, and that is their drama club. They have their LLC and they have their own drama summer camp, and they're doing amazing. So I'm super proud of them. But I have a coding and robotics program, and I have a art program and things like that. So I just kind of write everything out, and then I break it down into more, and then I break it down into more, and then I break it down again. And then I start going by that. And once I get what I need to do for the week, then I make my list of what do I need and what do I want. And so my need list will be all the things I need to accomplish for the week. My want list will be probably things from the next week or other things that I may want to do. And if I complete all the needs, then obviously then I can move on to the wants. Hopefully that makes sense.
Awesome. Anything else, ladies, before we wrap up our masterclass? Oh, how do you spell Sawyer?
Yep, it's Sawyer.com. Let's see.
And then how far in advance sorry, I missed this one. How far in advance do you plan out your months? Like 1 month in advance, 2 months in advance?
I try to plan out at least 1 month in advance. Previously, in the past years, not this year, this year has been awful, but in the past years, I actually was able to list my year and write down, like each page was a month. And for that month, I'd write down what I wanted to accomplish, what my themes were, what my goals would be for that month. And then I would put those on calendars with our events, our parties, our family engagement opportunities, and all of those things. And then I was able to break it down more. But this year I have struggled with that for whatever reason. So I guess it just kind of depends on what's going on in life. It's easier if things are planned out at least a month in advance, because then that gives you the opportunity to advertise. Right now, things are barely planned out a week in advance. This last month or two for me has been a whole different struggle. I've had quite a few things to kind of set me back. And so I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet.
Yes. All right, ladies, anything else before we wrap it up? All righty, well, thank you, ladies, for joining us for today's masterclass. Thank you, Lakisha, for your wonderful presentation. And all right, ladies, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.